This is a 2008 Harley Davidson Road Glide. I'm going to show you how to replace the spark plugs. This bike has a total of 2 spark plugs, one for each cylinder, and they're located on the left side of the bike near the top of the cylinder head, and they have plug wires running from each spark plug. Okay, to remove the plugs, what you want to do is remove the spark plug wires from the spark plug. They just pop up, pull them off. Next thing you want to do is you want to make sure the area around the plug is clean. If you have compressed air, blow around this area just to remove any debris. That prevents any debris from falling into the cylinder when you remove the plug. If you don't have compressed air, you can wash the bike. Just make sure that it's clean around this area before you take the plugs off. This particular spark plug is a Harley Davidson plug. It requires a 5/8 of an inch socket, a spark plug socket. And I'm going to remove these right now. Also, I'm doing this with the engine cold. These are the old plugs. This center part right here of the plug is the center electrode, and this part is the outer electrode, sometimes called the ground electrode. What you want to do is take your plug out, look at the porcelain that's surrounding the center electrode, look for any deposits. It should have a slight tan hint to it, just like this plug, which indicates normal combustion. If it's black and wet, you could have an oil problem. If it's black and sooty, you could have a rich fuel mixture. And if it's white and speckled, it could have a lean fuel mixture, or you could be running your plug that's running too hot. It's really beyond the scope of this video of all the indicators, but if you search online, you can find pictures of spark plugs and what causes the appearance. Both these plugs have a normal appearance, so I know my front and rear cylinder combustion is normal. You also want to look at the electrodes. They should be flat. Should have a flat surface on this outer electrode and the center electrode. Sometimes these plugs will wear, kind of round out. So that's something you want to look for. But these plugs look normal. This is what a plug should look like. Next thing we want to do is take our new plugs and adjust the air gap between the center electrode and the outer electrode. On the 2008 Road Glide, Harley recommends the air gap should be between 38 thousandths and 43 thousandths. I'm going to adjust these to 40 thousandths. And like I said, that's the gap between the center electrode and the outer electrode. There's 2 different ways that I use to adjust the air gap in spark plug. These are called leaf gauges. You can use those, or you can use a gauge called a wire gauge, which is this is a wire gauge. To adjust the air gap, there's a tool that you can use right here to bend the outer electrode to change the distance between the center and outer electrode. So what you do is the reason I use wire gauges to adjust spark plug air gap is because they seem to be slightly more accurate than the leaf gauge. And the reason why is, remember I said that the center and outer electrode can wear over time and you can get kind of a curve shaped. Well, the wire gauge seems to be able to take into account that wear, that roundness caused from the wear better than the leaf gauges, so that's why I use them. So basically what you want to do, since I'm going to adjust the new spark plugs to 40,000, is you want to find a 40 thousandths wire gauge, or you can use the leaf gauge and use that to adjust the spark plug. The way that you use this tool to adjust the air gap is you insert the outer electrode in between these little openings here, like so. I'll use the old plug to demonstrate. and then you can use it to bend the outer electrode out to increase the gap, or bend it back in to decrease the gap. Then you can take your gauge and check to see what the width is. It's a little large. Try it again. And there's 40 thousandths. Pretty close. These are my old plugs, which I'm going to discard, and here's my new plugs. Just took them out of the package. No spark plug, I think, comes pre-adjusted, but it's likely that when you go to check them, they might be the exact plug gap that you're looking for. So take your gauge and insert it between the center and outer electrode, and that's perfect. That's a 40 thousandths on this plug, so I don't need to adjust this. Take my other plug, and same thing. It's 40 thousandths of an inch, so there was no reason to adjust the new plugs. These are Harley original parts. I believe Craftsman makes this plug for Harley. The number on the plug is a 6R12. When I reinstall these new plugs, I want to make sure they're tightened to the correct torque specs. Harley Davidson calls for between 12 and 18 foot-pounds. I'm going to tighten them to 15 foot-pounds. If you over-tighten these plugs, you can actually crush this gasket that's on it, and you can cause internal leakage. And also, attempting to remove over-tightened plugs can cause problems with the spark plug threads in the cylinder head, and you can actually get pieces of metal that drop into the cylinder when you remove the plug, and you definitely don't want that to happen. Tightening these too loose can cause heat problems. You want the plug to make good contact with the cylinder because it helps to remove heat from the spark plugs. If these spark plugs run too hot, they can cause pre-ignition problems, and that's another thing you don't want. Another thing, you want to use a spark plug socket with these. Spark plug sockets have a little round rubber ring in the center, and they do a couple of things. They help hold the spark plug in the socket, and also it helps to center the spark plug on the socket, because if you just used a regular socket, you can actually bend it and crack the porcelain. If you put enough force, you can crack the porcelain on the spark plug with just a regular type socket. So that's why I use a spark plug socket. So now I'm going to take my torque wrench, install these, and do that next. Before you install the plug, Harley Davidson recommends you put some anti-seize on the plug. I've already put a little bit on here. Not gonna put much. Hopefully that's in the picture. You always want to install these using your fingers, because you get a better feel, and you don't want to cross-thread it. Cross-threading it is just problems you don't want. Once you get them started, you can use a socket to help you finger tighten them. Once you got them fingered tight, take your torque wrench set for 15 foot-pounds and tighten them up. After you get them tightened to the correct torque specs, go ahead and reinstall your plug wires. They just snap into place. You can hear them when they snap correctly on. Didn't hear that one. There it goes. And that's about it. Harley Davidson recommends you inspect the plugs every the first 1,000 miles, and then at 5,000 miles, and every 5,000 miles after that. And they recommend replacing the plugs at 20,000 miles and every 20,000 miles after that. So I hope you found this video helpful, and thank you for watching.